Hey, welcome to New Journey. Today is Friday, 10:43 p.m. We are about to end the month, and it has been an amazing week. Very peaceful week for me. Being able to get done and accomplish many of the things that I have set on to do as I have embarked myself on this new journey. For those of you who are new at the channel, it is the first time that you see this video. I encourage you to go back to the first videos, and then perhaps you understand a little bit more about the purpose and the reason behind me posting these videos. Okay, but just to recap, I have shared my testimony. I have shared many things that I hope that have been an encouragement for those of you that have listened to the first videos. And the reason why is just that because we all go through the stuff in life. We all have afflictions. We all have trials in life, and sometimes not always know how to deal with them. Okay, um, one of the things that is a reality is that we are imperfect. That we're not perfect. There's only one who is perfect, and is the Creator, Almighty God, holy and perfect. And who will never make a mistake, who will always do things perfectly. But yet we are not, right? We are sinful, full of flaws, men and women, and therefore, because of our nature, we make decisions, and many times we do things that would um, that would lead us right in despair, in situations where um, we wish we were never there. But nevertheless, being afflicted is part of life as well. Being in a trial, going through a trial, it's part of growing. It is necessary. It is where we develop character, and we also will acknowledge our faults, right? So if you are in a situation where you find yourself in despair, perhaps you're going through a trial and affliction in your life at this very moment, know this, that everything has an end, that nothing lasts forever, right? And be confident on the fact that every trial and every affliction has a purpose behind. Okay, so part of the reason why I share this video is because of the same reason, is to be able to use that for good, right? For good. What I have said before in the videos was a ways that I have been afflicted, and four aspects of my life: in the financial aspect, and the spiritual aspect, emotional aspect, and also as well in the physical aspect. So today I'm going to speak specifically about the financial aspect, and and this is perhaps one of the one that really encourages me, because for some reason or another I have always been blessed and very thankful. God has always blessed me with financially in a way that I have never, I never really lacked in my life. And in the difficult times, there was always the faithfulness of God providing for my needs. But I can say that I always have been blessed with having a little more than what I actually needed. However, I had not always had the wisdom to know how to deal with it properly. I started my journey when it comes to source of income and having my first very job at the age of 16. And this was in New York City. I worked in Dunkin' Donuts. That was my first job. I was very excited about it. I remember receiving my very first check. I think it was $180, so 2 weeks work. For me, that was a lot of money. It was like, wow, huge. Yeah, I'm excited to receive. If you ever receive a check for the first time, I mean, it could be like $10 if you never had any $10 before. It seems like, yeah, a lot of money. So that's how I received it. I remember the very first experience, which was great. Within time, I had a different multiple jobs, but this was a job that I remember, which kind of like really marked my life in the direction that I will go. And this was a job. I used to drive a truck in the city, in New York City. And at that time, I was probably about 19, 20, if I recall correctly, where my first check was for $700. And what a check! It was great. That experience of being able to have this good income, and yet again, not knowing what to do with it, right? It was not a good thing. When you're young, you usually, make these emotional decisions about, about what you have, and then you think you can just get whatever you need to, or I mean, whatever you want, and you spend it. You have, for at least most of us, I did not have any source of or sort of guidance or as of what to do with my income, how to use it, right, or how to not to use it. So many years throughout life, I just went ahead and just went like just spending and spending and spending and spending. So that's kind of my beginnings, right? And why do I want to share this with you guys? Is because everything is connected. Okay, everything is connected. Um, in every situation, in every family, okay, in every household, right? There's always a financial aspect that will that will hinder a relationship, that will either bless the relationship or either hinder the relationship. So when there is when there is a good stewardship in your finances, and then you can be sure that you will have a very peaceful, blessed life. Okay, very careful how I said it, right? I didn't say if you have money in your life you will be at peace and blessed. I said, if you have your finances in order, right, and you're a good steward of what you have, you will be at peace and blessed. And that's one of the things that I learned in the long run. I learned it the hard way. Okay. I learned it the hard way. Okay. That when you are also being blessed, all right, and the source of our blessings, every time that I said blessed is because um, I have been gifted with the abilities to work, with the wisdom, with the knowledge to be able to work, and also not only with the abilities, right, and the skills for it, but also have been blessed with the means and the people around and the opportunities to be able, right, to execute my trades. So that's how I see it. That's what I believe. But in yet, when you receive all these things and you don't know what to do with it, uh, you are not responsible with it, right? There's some basic principles that I wish I knew when I was young, right? When it comes to, okay, you are being blessed with, financially, and then you are to be able to save, you are to be able to invest. You should be able to do your tithe, if you are a believer, and also you should be able to help, right? So all these small things which are so basic, and yet most people don't know. We don't know. Eventually will take a toll in our lives. Okay, eventually will do. So I went on my journey, my life, from my 20s, early 20s to probably the 30s, um, just working, and then eventually going into having my own business independently, and then be able to have a good income, a better income, and actually a great income. Um, and then the more that you have, right, the more that you spend, and then yet you don't realize um, that at one point, right, it's not always going to be like that. That at one point you might lack, there might be a need, there might be other factors that would influence it, right? Such as the economy, a recession, right, which happens, and that's one of the ones that I'm going to share with you guys about how is that I was afflicted financially. So when I moved to Florida, where I now live, I was able to 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 have and to do some investments into properties, and I was doing quite well. It was very good and prosper time for me, and so I did some investment in real estate, which was a great idea. It was great. Uh, it was a really good idea behind it, but yet again there was no understanding, right? There was no educating myself about what is that I am doing. So you put all your efforts, you put all your resources, you put all your savings into something, and then all of a sudden, things that are out of your control, um, uh, it takes everything away from you, and then you're left with nothing. Okay. So if you ever have been in a place in your life where you have lost financially everything, I relate to you. Okay. I've been there too. And perhaps that for me was one of the moments with my life started taking a different direction. For me, the very moment when I remember in the recession that we went through, 2009, I believe it was, eh, it was very difficult. It was very difficult because it didn't matter how hard I tried it to be able to keep what I have, it was out of my control. Okay, it was out of my hands, and that was a good thing. It was the good thing because it helped me to realize that there's things I cannot control in life, and the things that I cannot control, I have to be able to make peace with them, and I have to be able to let them go. So um, that was the time that I learned right, to detach myself from the love of wealth. I was always very driven, and I had this great attitude about go getter, and always eager about having stuff, and buying stuff, and that was my drive. And so I went for it, and I did it. I did it on my own strength, but yet didn't realize that that wasn't mine really, that I was blessed with. And and when it was taken away, when I lost all this, it was very painful. It was very painful because it was like stripping you out of everything that you have worked for. And yet, the greater lesson I learned at that point was that I have no control other than the decisions that I can make. And so, um, my heart changed in the way that I will perceive money, in the way that I think about money. I remember clearly the day that I have decided to let go and to detach myself from this belief and thoughts that I am losing my life. It was the moment when I was blessed with the wisdom to think that it was okay, that it was good. And if you ever wanted to read uh, a book that will help you to have a good perspective on what really wealth is, I encourage you to read the book of Ecclesiastics. The book of Ecclesiastics, when Solomon, one of the wisest and wealthiest men ever existed in the time of the Old Testament, um, when he goes out on a journey, and he goes out and just perceives and receives and tries everything that the world can offer and give, and yet he calls it vanity of vanities. So if you ever read that book, it will help you to see and to understand and have a good, mature, wise understanding of what is the reason or what is the purpose of money. Okay, which has nothing to do with satisfying your needs. Okay, so in the sense of the the desires that you have to pursue your whole life and to pour your life into accumulating wealth and accumulating richness, right? Um, so one thing that is very important, and this is probably, if I want you to take something from this, would be to have a good understanding of what money is and what wealth is. Okay, uh, and it's not what the world really says about it should be. It's not what we don't sometimes think about, what should be. It's what it really is. Okay, because one thing is for sure, that one day when we leave this world, we leave this earth, we are not going to take anything with us. All right. So, but we many times, and a lot of people, pour their lives onto following and chasing, right, the wealth and the richness. So if that's you, uh, I don't go I don't I'm not here um, to criticize anyone who is doing it. I am here to just share my testimony and what I have learned that have helped me to grow as a human being, as a person, as a man, and also be able to make decisions that would be differently, in my life. So, and that is the encouragement that I have for you. It's that the same. If you're at a point right now where you are wealth, financially stable, where you are being blessed, or you are at a point where you are just at the beginning on it, just learning, how to manage it, or if you are on the opposite, where you are, where I have been, where you just a mess and you have lost everything that you have. Well, here's the thing, and this is the best part of it. The name of my channel is called New Journey. Is because every day is a new opportunity to learn, to make a change, to make a decision. Okay. My encouragement to you is one, if you are in a place where you have make a mess out of your um, the financial aspect in your life, the only way you're going to get out of it is by you, right, educating yourself. Okay. It's by you changing your habits, making a new decision, right? And continue and learn from what you have, right? Or the mistakes that you have made. Two, if you're a beginner, if you're starting, maybe you're very young, maybe this is your first job that that you have now, and that you're excited about what's ahead of you. My suggestion to you is the same: educate yourself, okay, about how to be a good steward of what you have, okay. And third, if you are being blessed and you're at a very good uh, position where you're financially stable, and you have made great investments and you have been a blessing to many people, and whatever the situation is that you are good, more power to you. And I just hope that you will be a blessing to others, because now you are at a place where you can be helpful and you can be, uh, what God intends us to be, which is, be a blessing to others in the same way that others have blessed you at one point in your life. So, whatever situation that you are in, I'm going to leave you with this. Um, think that it is never late to change, and things not always have to be the same. After my affliction, after the trial I went through, I thought I would never do well ever in my life. And when the recession was over, I was able to get back into my own business, and then able to bless again, be able to work diligently, and able to be able to do investments again. And yet I learned from that lesson. In that sense, I learned that decisions have to be made differently, and learn to be a better stewards of my finances. Um, However, remember something, that everything is connected. Your life is not separated or isolated as if you were like divided into parts. Your spiritual being um, will affect in the decisions that you do, when it comes to financially decisions, when it comes to your physical being as well. It will affect, being in this stress financially will eventually take a toll on your health, right? And this also afflictions in the financial, right, household aspect will bring also emotionally distress on you, and your relationship and your family. So everything is connected, and therefore, I wanted to incorporate this and share this, as to be something that might be helpful for you. So in my new journey, um, I have um, I have been able to have this business that I do, which is a window treatment installs and services and sales business, what I have worked with for like the past 25 years about, which has been a great business for me. However, the last probably 5 years, I started considering doing something different, and so last year and a half or so probably, uh, I just started like thinking about something different that I want to do. I want to change careers. Well, I got to the point where I was like, I want to do something different, something where I can grow, maybe something that I can learn something new. So in that decision that I made, to change my path in my career, eventually I came across that I'm going to go into investment and into trading, and then And that's what I am doing now. I am actually very excited about it. I've been studying it, and I have poured myself and dedicated time to be able to educate myself, to study, to commit to that decision, and to continue to be able to to go for that goal. And again, no, with the desire or the heart of becoming wealthy or rich. No, nothing of that. It's more with the desire of being able to be a good steward of what I have been given. We always will continue to learn. And so that will be what I wanted to share. Um, I hope that this is helpful for all of you. And I hope that this one way or another gives you a few, sense of encouragement, and that you remember and know that it is okay to be where you are. There is always hope. Okay, and I want to leave you with this verse. Remember, you guys, that I am a believer. I believe in God as my Creator, as my Savior, and He is the source of my strength, and He is the source of my wisdom. I am a man who is uh, who is not perfect, a sinful man, full of flaws and faults, and yet being blessed by a God who is merciful and kind and loving, and who has only shown me great love, compassion, and mercy, and undeserving mercy towards me, which is something that within time you allows you to see how much He loves you, and that love that He has for you is what eventually draws you to Him. So I want to leave you with this verse, and this is in the book of Luke 11. And it says, verse 9 to 10, it says, "So I said to you, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find it. Knock, and it will be open. For anyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks it will be open." Um, this verse is not to be taken out of context. He's talking about within the kingdom of heavens, as Christ is speaking to the disciples, and he's referring to in the fact of yes, you could ask, right? You could ask God for anything that you need that is according and within His will, right? And asking God for wisdom is biblical. Asking God for financial understanding and guidance is biblical. Asking God for spiritual healing is biblical, right? Asking God for physical healing is biblical. And asking God for emotionally support is biblical. So if we ask, right, God says that He will give you, okay? Specifically, this verse is talking about salvation, as well. It can be applied to it, that if you ask, you will receive. If you seek after Him, you will find Him. So remember, we and this is how I started this series, right? Saying that there is someone who is greater than us and who is more powerful than us and who knows the beginning and end of things. So to Him, given the praise and glory. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I will continue to post my next video, and whatever journey, whatever direction that this will lead me, and that's what I'm able, and that's what I will be doing. Thank you. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe to my channel so you will receive a notification for every video that I post. Thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of the time and be blessed.